Thanks for tuning in again. So in this next practice, I'm going to share with you a posture that is often referred to as legs up the wall, and it's exactly as it sounds. This particular posture is considered an inversion because we're taking our feet above our heart, and is also indicated as being very helpful for sleep disorders. So if you are someone who has difficulty falling to sleep or difficulty staying asleep, you might want to get out of bed in the middle of the night and try this. They say that if we stay in our bed more than 15 minutes with insomnia, that we then create an unhealthy relationship with the experience of being in bed. So sometimes it's helpful when you're having a particularly rough night to take time out for this. Likewise, this is another one to kind of reset the flow of everything in between patients or surgeries or what have you. Be sure to set your timer so you don't have to worry about the time. I will show you a couple of things that are helpful in this practice, just so you're aware of them. Many of us have tight hamstrings, so don't be hard on yourself if your legs don't go straight and up against the wall. You have to adjust to make it work for you. All right, so I like to set myself up by taking my hips up against the baseboard of the wall, as close as I can get it anyway, because we're going to lean onto the forearm again, similar to what we did when we did constructive rest on the chair. Keep moving the hips towards the wall. Come down on the other forearm as you swing the legs up to the wall. Now, my legs, I have flexibility in the back of my hamstrings, so this isn't too hard for me. You might have to shimmy and shake closer to get your legs there, or you may have to push the feet into the wall and move the hips back so that you do get long legs. They don't have to be locked out, but you want to feel a little bit of stretch in the back of the hamstrings, but nothing painful. And this is it. You find this shape. This is another one that is quite honestly delicious, especially if you can spend more than a couple minutes here. Minimum 5, 10 is awesome. But you will notice a point at which your legs start to want to float away, and then it's almost more effort to keep them up on the wall than just laying flat on the floor. But you can feel a sense of this kind of reverse gravity coming back into the main body. The whole back chain of the body is supported. And just allow yourself to take a few cleansing breaths and just see how that feels for you. Now, if you have something weighted, I'm trying to think of something in the house that might have some weight to it. You don't want to use hard weights because if you dropped them, it wouldn't feel so great. But I happen to have a sandbag, so I'm going to bring my sandbag into the picture. And I like to use something to place on my feet because they help me. The weight of the sandbag helps me, if I could get it, to drop the femur bones into the hip sockets so that everything feels just really stacked. The weight also further helps me find relaxation and release. It's almost a tactile reminder to just put the brakes on for a few moments. Now, likewise, another option is to take that weight, maybe even it's a simple blanket, and just place it onto the pelvis. Just experiment. Be willing to try different ways of feeling that grounding, that full support of the earth beneath you. And once you're on the wall, there are some wonderful, wonderful practices that you can add to this. Just as options, take the feet, the soles of the feet together, let the knees be wide, and then just start to invite the feet down towards the groin, feeling a sense of the opening in the hips. Maybe you place your elbows onto the floor and add a little bit of resistance with the hands. Nothing too intense, just go with what feels nice. Likewise, you could take the soles of the feet out a little wider and then walk the feet down. This would be considered like a frog pose, but on the wall, and you feel this a little bit differently in the hip socket. And then if I had space behind me, I could take the legs wide. I'll do it with one leg so you get a sense of that, resting the foot on the wall. And now you've got a wide-legged straddle, again with the support of the wall. So play with it. Let the wall be a place where you can explore some of these shapes with the back of the body being fully supported by the ground beneath you. And then we bend the knees again. We roll to one side and very gently, very carefully bring ourselves back to a seated position. And it's helpful to always allow ourselves a moment to kind of observe and feel. Notice the effects of your practice. Take a few cleansing breaths. And then open your eyes and come back to your day recharged and better than ever. Thanks for joining me. Take care.